What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our Carolina Panthers Madden 24 franchise rebuild. Today, we're going to get the offseason started as we continue to rebuild this Panthers franchise, which made it all the way to the NFC divisional round of the playoffs. But first, let's take a look at a couple of the staff moves that have been made this year. First off, our rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a new head coach, Scott Anderson. The Bears fired their head coach. The Browns have fired their head coach, their offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. Of course, Todd Bowles out in Tampa. So is Kevin McGovern and Darren Young. The Colts have fired their head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. The Giants have fired offensive coordinator Tom Walters. The Jets have fired their defensive coordinator. The Lions fired their offensive coordinator. Sean McVay is out as the Rams head coach this year, along with their OC and DC. Seahawks have fired their offensive coordinator, Mac Williams. Victor Price, offensive coordinator for the Steelers, has been fired. Jim Nichols is no longer head coach of the Broncos. The Saints, another NFC South rival, have fired their offensive coordinator. And the Eagles have fired both their offensive and defensive coordinators. And now retirements. Let's take a look if there's any big names. First off, we've got Zach Ertz calling it a career. Cameron Hayward, Anthony Barr, Demario Davis, and Cameron Jordan have all retired from the New Orleans Saints. Former Panther Graham Gano calls it quits. Matt Stafford has retired. Adam Thielen has called it a career. Nick Folk and Kevin Zeitler. Aaron Rodgers, Danico Autry, Darius Slay, linebacker Bobby Wagner, and Levante David. Jordan Poyer and Von Miller have retired after winning the Super Bowl. Former Panther punter Mike Pilardi has retired. Veteran kicker Greg Zuerlein. Gadget player Taysom Hill has retired after 8 years. Veteran pass rusher Chandler Jones has retired. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco retires after 17 years. Justin Britt, our backup center that we brought in, has retired. All right, mock draft 3 is out. Let's take a look. This mock draft has Tony Dickerson going first overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First quarterback Nick Fletcher to the Broncos. This has us taking Josh Mitchell, the center out of Oregon, at pick 26. He has a high motor, shows good discipline, and won't get flagged much. And for the most part, his stats look okay. This could be somebody we could keep an eye on, especially if he falls out of the first round. Alright, and it's time to re-sign some players. Of course, this year we did re-sign Brian Burns during the regular season. And first up, Ikem Ekwonu. He's got his 5th-year option. We're going to accept that. Next up, we've got the big man in the middle, Derek Brown. We're going to offer him this 3-year deal, $9.5 million and $14.8 million in bonus. Let's see if he will re-sign. And Derek Brown's going to test free agency. Next up, we've got Dante Jackson, the Pro Bowler this year. He's looking for an $8.3 million contract. We're going to look to bring him back on a 1-year deal worth $9 million. Let's see if he will accept. And Dante Jackson will stay with us for 1 more year. Next up, we've got the injury-prone Austin Colbert at right guard. He played in 14 games for us this year, and we're going to offer him this 2-year deal. But he's not interested in signing. That is okay. We can either retarget him or somebody else in free agency, or we can find someone in the draft. Next up, we got veteran middle linebacker Shaq Thompson. He's looking for a 2-year deal. We're going to offer him this 2 years, $4 million. And he's going to look for another team next year. Next up, backup running back Chuba Hubbard is looking for a 2-year deal. We're going to offer him a 3-year deal worth $13.5 million. And Chuba will stay as our backup. And we will be moving on from Terrace Marshall. We're going to withdraw that offer. Next up, we have return man Shi Smith. We're going to decline that offer as well. Tommy Tremble, the young tight end. We're going to offer him this 1-year, $5 million offer. And he's going to test out free agency. We are going to move on from veteran safety Xavier Woods. Next up, we've got Brady Christensen, who has also failed to stay healthy along the offensive line. We are going to withdraw this offer. Tight end Ian Thomas interested in returning. However, we are not interested in Ian Thomas. We are going to withdraw this offer. Backup corner Keith Taylor. We're going to offer him this 2 years, $6 million offer, and he will not take it. Stanley Thomas Oliver looking for a $3 million deal for 1 year. We are going to make this offer, and he will come back. Andrew Smith, backup right tackle out of Ohio State, looking for a 1 year deal. Let's make this offer, but he's not interested in it. Arquan McCall, we are going to withdraw this 1 year deal. Kamiko Toure, we're going to withdraw this deal. And now we have backup left guard Michael Jordan, who in his playtime replacing Brady Christensen has been pretty good. We're going to offer him this 1 year, $2.5 million deal, and he will stay. Taylor Stallworth, backup defensive tackle, we are going to decline this deal. Veteran Bud Dupree that we brought in for linebacker depth, we are going to withdraw this offer. Veteran backup tackle Jawan James, we are going to withdraw this offer. Backup center Austin Ritter looking for a 1 year deal. We are going to make this offer, and he will return for another year. Outstanding kicker Eddie Pinheiro's looking for a new deal. We're going to sign him to this 3 year extension. Let's see if he'll take it. And he wants to play for a new team next year. Hunter Lupecki's looking for a new deal. We're going to see if he'll take this simple 1 year, $1.1 million deal, and he will test out free agency. And now we have veteran punter Johnny Hecker. We'll see if he'll take this 1 year, $3 million offer, and he will stay with us. And we will be franchise tagging Derek Brown. This will be a 1 year, $24.5 million contract. Now, with all of that out of the way, we have $53 million in cap space. And here's a look at the top free agents. Joel Benino, left guard. Tyron Smith, the tackle. Wyatt Teller at right guard. Javon Holland. DeAndre Hopkins is available. Tua Tagovailoa. Tommy Townsend. Veteran corner Stephon Gilmore. Ryan Jensen. So to start off free agency, we have made a bid for John Levitt, the fullback. We're also going to bid for Andrew Norwell, the former Carolina Panther and Jacksonville Jaguar guard. We're also going to make this offer for Austin Colbert. We are also going to offer this 1 year contract to Stephon Gilmore to bring him back to Carolina. And finally, for this first round, we are going to make this offer for kicker Harrison Butker. And a huge surprise here is we managed to sign everyone. Stephon Gilmore, welcome back to Carolina. Harrison Buckner, welcome to Carolina. Austin Colbert, welcome back. Andrew Norwell, welcome back. And John Levitt, welcome. We are going to make an offer for backup right tackle Austin Jackson. Next, we're going to make this offer for backup defensive tackle Shelby Harris. And next up, we are going to make this offer for backup safety Devontae Herring. Now, because of position depth, we are going to be releasing Spencer Brown and also releasing one of my favorite Cameron Peoples. And we have signed Austin Jackson and Shelby Harris. And it took him a little bit, but Devontae Herring will be backing up Chris Bartell this year. Mock draft number 4 is out, and Tony Dickinson's still projected to be the number 1 overall pick to Tampa. And they still got us selecting center Josh Mitchell. Now, with free agency over, let's take a look at where the top guys went. Joel Benino, he goes to Jacksonville. Tyron Smith is headed to the desert in Arizona. Wyatt Teller is headed to the Colts. Javon Holland headed to Jacksonville. DeAndre Hopkins is going to LA. He's going to have Tua Tagovailoa throwing to him. Stephon Gilmore comes to Carolina. Ryan Jensen headed to the Colts. Aluakon's gonna go to Minnesota. Elijah Moore is headed to Jacksonville. David Njoku down in Tampa. Tyron Johnson headed to Minnesota. Shaq Thompson is headed to the Rams. Rondale Moore will be in Atlanta. Quandre Diggs to Green Bay. Kenny Moore is headed to Arizona. BJ Hill is going to Atlanta. Brandon Scherf going to the Lions. Elijah Mitchell to the Bears. Hunter Renfro's going to Indianapolis. Veteran quarterback Jared Goff is headed to the Jets. Jimmy Ward to the Dolphins. Matt Judon to the Lions. Rasul Douglas to the Rams. Zadarius Smith to the Jags. Rob Havenstein to the Steelers. Khalil Mack is going to Green Bay. Justin Fields is going to the Titans. Brandon Cook's going to the Titans. Eric Armstead is headed to Pittsburgh. Chuck Clark going to Dallas. Cam Robinson to the Jets. Devin Duvernay is going to the Steelers. Davion Clowney is going to Minnesota. Okay, mock draft number 5 is out, and Nick Fletcher, the new number 1 overall pick. Tampa Bay took a quarterback last year. Will they do it again? Now they have us selecting Emmanuel Perryman, the right outside linebacker from Texas A&M. And we've got private workouts going on. Let's take a look. For private workout number 1, we are going to select Josh Mitchell, a center from Oregon. Next up, we are going to select Cam Davenport, the right tackle from Texas Tech. Next, we're going to select Kai Cunningham, a cornerback from Memphis. All right, and it is draft time. Let's get started. The Buccaneers are on the clock, and they go with quarterback out of Colorado, Nick Fletcher. Next up, we've got the Denver Broncos, and they take left tackle Kevin Chambers out of Ole Miss. Next up, Indianapolis. They take right end out of Iowa State, Tony Dickerson. The Texans are on the clock, and they go with the linebacker out of Georgia, Sean McLeod. What do the Jets do here? The Jets will take Robert Fletcher, cornerback out of West Virginia. Next up, we have the Bears, and they go quarterback out of UCF, Jeff Blythe. Seattle, it's your turn. Dariel Canty out of Syracuse, the left end. Chargers are next, and they go Jawan Newman, right end out of Boston College. Detroit is on the clock at pick 9. They go Percy Bird, wide receiver out of UCF. 2 UCF players going here in the first round. New York is next, and the Giants take Jeff Reese, the right end out of TCU. Pick 11 is LA's. Let's see what they do. They go Marquise Campbell, the right tackle out of UCF. That UCF offense must have been really good this year. They've had a quarterback, a receiver, and now a tackle. And he is headed to LA. Houston is on the clock, and they go Tim Bayless, the safety out of Washington State. Next up, New England, Quentin Dobson. He's a left tackle from Miami, Minnesota. Pick 14, Will Callaway, quarterback out of Texas. Kirk Cousins was a free agent, and now they've got their quarterback of the future, they hope. The Steelers are on the clock, and they go Alex Cartwright, the receiver out of Miami. One of the receivers I was looking at in this draft, I liked him. Atlanta, our rival. What will they do? Pick 16 is DeAndre Dodson out of Notre Dame, and the Texans are on the clock. They go Kai Cunningham, the cornerback out of Memphis. Man, he was somebody I was considering with first overall pick at 26. I liked Kai Cunningham. Washington is now on the clock. They go quarterback Josh Kirkpatrick from West Virginia. Their rival Cowboys are on the clock. They go Devontae Tucker out of Georgia, the right tackle. And Arizona has pick 20. They go Morgan Singleton, defensive tackle out of LSU. Now pick 21, the New Orleans Saints. They go Mike Oliver, quarterback out of Wisconsin, looking to replace Derek Carr. Hopefully we get a chance to see him this year. Now the Raiders are on the clock. Donovan Cherry out of Auburn, the linebacker, at pick 22. Pick 23, the Bengals are on the clock. They go Montrell Lamb, the right tackle out of Boise State. Only a couple of picks away from ours. The Ravens at number 24. They take Hugh Hawkins, the tackle out of Iowa. And now we've got Miami. Miami takes Tavares Bailey, the right end out of Oregon, and we are on the clock. And with our first pick, we are going to select Abdul Hazelton, the center out of Texas Tech. He's got a good motor and won't get flagged. Showed some really good combine stats. He's got A awareness, B pass block, A run block. He could be a possible future starter for us. That's what we're hoping for. Let's get him picked. And we have a hidden development center out of Texas Tech, Abdul Hazelton. Welcome to Carolina. Now Green Bay is on the clock. They take Jonathan Morales, the tight end out of Iowa. Jacksonville is next. Pete Moyer, tight end out of Arkansas. San Francisco, the team that defeated us in the divisional round, what will they do? And they go free safety Daniel Gavin from Notre Dame. Kansas City is on the clock. Emmanuel Perryman, linebacker out of Texas A&M. Philadelphia, the Super Bowl losers. Who will they select at pick 31? Jack Norris, linebacker from Washington State. And our Super Bowl champion Buffalo Bills are on the clock. What will they do? Quincy Irons, strong safety from Penn State. And here we are at pick 26 of the third round, and we are on the clock. And with this pick, we are going to select Angelo Flowers, the cornerback out of Notre Dame. In the Combine and the Pro Day, one of the best athletic corners in the draft. Has good man coverage and catching and tackling. Don't know the zone coverage yet, but I'm hoping it's at least a C. We'll see. And we have a normal cornerback. Not too bad here. And we had a while to wait for our next draft pick, but here we are in round 5. And with our 5th round pick, we are going to select the wide receiver out of Clemson, Justin Dean. And we found ourselves a hidden development wide receiver, Justin Dean out of Clemson. Let's go. He was one of the best short route runners I could find. He has good release. However, his issues lie in catching. We'll see what kind of impact he can make in his first year. And here we are in the 6th round. And we are going to follow that up by selecting Cam Jackson, the defensive tackle from Kansas State. Normal development here for Cam Jackson. Probably a practice squad player to begin. And here we are in the 7th round with our last pick. And for our final pick, we are going to take Ramon Medina, wide receiver out of Auburn. And he is normal development. Now let's take a look at our draft picks. First up at number 26, we took Abdul Hazelton. He is a 73 overall. We followed that up with Angelo Flowers. He's a 72 overall at corner. Then all the way in the 5th round, we selected Justin Dean, the wide receiver out of Clemson. He's a 71. Then we went back to the defensive side and took Cam Jackson, defensive tackle out of Kansas State. And then for our final pick, we took wide receiver Ramon Medina out of Auburn. Hazelton is a hidden development center, so he's going to get playtime right away so we can figure out what he is and grow him. He comes in with 79 run block, 74 pass block, 77 run block power. Run block finesse and pass block finesse are a little low, but not terrible. Pass block power is good. He's a good lead blocker. Angelo Flowers, our corner here. He's got 74 of his man coverage and 62 zone. Going to have to work on that. We play a lot of zone here in Carolina. Justin Dean, our hidden development wide receiver we took in the 5th round. He comes in with pretty okay ratings, 91 speed, 72 catching, needs a little bit of work, as so does that catch in traffic. However, we got him to run those short routes that we like to run. He's got a 77 there on the short route running, a 71 for medium, and a 76 for deep. He's also a 99 spec catch with a 79 release. Good juke move here, good spin too. We followed that pick up with Cam Jackson, the rookie out of Kansas State. Comes in with 85 strength. Doesn't do anything terribly well. He'll be a serviceable backup if he makes the roster. And our final pick, Ramon Medina out of Auburn. Good catch in traffic. Another good short route runner at 78. Good release with 81. Doesn't quite have the moves, but they're not terrible. And of course, the number 1 overall pick, Nick Fletcher, going to our rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's an 81 overall hidden development quarterback out of Colorado. They could have their quarterback of the future. Kai Cunningham, one of the corners I really like, turns out to be a 79 overall hidden development. He's headed to Tennessee. Josh Mitchell, the other center that we could have taken. ends up a 78 overall hidden development center for the Bengals. Out of everybody taken during the draft, the best overall goes to Robert Fletcher, the cornerback taken by the Jets at number 5. Fastest player in the draft, Percy Bird, wide receiver that went to the Lions. He's followed by Kai Cunningham. The strongest in the draft, Shakir Horn, the defensive tackle taken by the Lions. The best catchers in the draft, KC McCoy and Robert Fletcher, both taken by the Jets. One's a wide receiver, the other's a corner. And of course, we've got the 99 overall spec catch Justin Dean. Also Ramon Medina, tied for the lead for the best release in the draft with 80. The strongest arm belongs to Will Callaway, a quarterback taken by the Vikings. And the Eagles get a 99 impact blocking Kareem Richardson, the right guard out of NC State. The next 99 hit power, Travis Britt, middle linebacker out of Auburn, taken by the Lions. Best man coverage is Robert Fletcher, the Jets corner. All right, coming up next is the preseason as we get our first look at some of these new rooks. Before that, I'm going to adjust our roster. We've got 58 players right now, so I'm going to sign some undrafted free agents to see if anybody stands out, fill in some depth issues that we may have, and then we'll get the preseason started in the next episode. That will be on Tuesday as we get season 3, year 3 of our Carolina Panthers rebuild started. In our first 2 drafts, we have picked up 5 hidden development players. So we've got a good foundation here. This year we found hidden development players on the offensive side with a new center and wide receiver. What kind of impact will they make? We know they can make an impact. We had rookies last year do it, with Jamison Carver leading the way with the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this draft and how this offseason went, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.